Ellis LeCroy. I'm Leoyd Walter LeCroy's son. I was going to tell you about some stories. I'm going to start off with telling you about the what's the name of that building right next door?
Fellowship Hall.
Fellowship Hall. Fellowship Hall, which is next door to where y'all are now. But anyway, back when I was very young, probably in the neighborhood of 8 years old, somewhere along that age, we got a chance to help build that building. To help build it, I sure wasn't able to do much work, but with a little bit of money that I earned cutting grass or whatever, we were told that we had to buy some bricks. At church, you were allowed to pay so much per brick for that building, and by doing so, I forgot what it was, just a few cents per brick, but anyway, I was able to buy a few of those bricks, and that's how all the kids got that opportunity. It wasn't just me, but anyway, we bought those bricks to help build the church over there, and all the men would meet at nighttime and mix the concrete, and then had put that concrete in a brick and laid it right on up there. But it went together really good, and the kids got to help out by buying the brick. That's my first story. It's just kind of neat to think about. You actually got to help do something at that age. The other story I wanted to tell you about is my mother. Y'all remember probably when she sang in the choir. But anyway, she had to keep control over me and Kathy and a bunch of us. We had a tendency to want to talk and laugh. Y'all remember me laughing in church. So anyway, Mother would always give us that look and point her finger at us right there in the choir. And sometimes she would give up on doing that, and she'd come down out of that choir loft in that big old robe. Y'all remember them robes they wore? And she'd come down through that choir and down that hallway at all. She'd kind of wobble and get back there to the back, and I'd be a little bitty fella sitting down on that bench, and I tried to just get down as low as I could. She'd get a hold of my arm and pinch the living dickens out of it right there. Pinch it good. And I tried to be a big boy and not holler too loud. But it sure did hurt. But that's how Mother kept control of us. And she sure did have a way to keep us walking the line. Me and Kathy, we acted up, but we sure got pinched a whole bunch. So that was one of my stories. The other story is, out there in the cemetery, there's a tree out there. I'm sure y'all all noticed that tree. It's the one and only dogwood tree out there. I'm be 70 here before long. I can remember that tree was not much bigger around than my thumb right there. That'd be about 65 years that tree's been standing there that I know of. All right, we dug some, I say we, I was a little bitty fella naturally, but I can remember graves being dug out there. The men folks would all gather around. Granny the Grooms was one of them. Uncle Sully, different ones. They'd all gather around out there and dig these graves for folks. And my daddy, everybody get out there. And so anyway, we didn't dare throw no dirt over on that particular tree. That was going to let that tree grow. So today you look at that tree, it's kind of big round, but didn't make much of a tree. But it's been there all that many years. People's been trying to make it last. But anyway, this grave digging, that's the way they used to do it. Everybody dug the grave by hand over there. All the men folks and the young boys would go over and just do what they could do and get the grave dug. All right, in one of these particular graves, Daddy was going to be a pallbearer. Walter, that was his name, in case somebody don't know. He was going to be a pallbearer. Uncle Pep give him a suit that Mother has to alter to make it fit him, because sometimes them suits just didn't fit too awfully good, so they have to make do. Daddy was proud of his clothes. So anyway, he was going to be a pallbearer. So you know how they gather around the casket to help care. Daddy was on the end. And as they was going to let the casket down on the, what do you call them things? On the thing that lowers it down in the ground. Anyway, Daddy bent over. He's had both hands on the casket, bent over. Well, when he did, his pants split. Right in the very back, just blared wide open. Well, anyway, he knew it when he heard it. Everybody else heard it. He did too. So he straightened up real quick. He just turned the loose of his end. And when he did, the thing just flopped. It just flopped. So Daddy straightened back up. Then it dawned on him what he'd done, but done too late then. The casket done down. So anyway, I remember that as a child. You don't forget some things.